TV State of Maine, standing by 1613. Out.
43 acres, 35 buildings, 410 people living here today.
What's just like the postcard history of Star Island?
Oh, so we were, the island was settled as a fishing village, and a lot of the buildings remained from the fishing villages. All these cottages were, people from the fishing villages grew up in them. And then in the 1800s, the Isles of Shoals turned into a grand hotel spot. So there was a big hotel on Appledore Island right across the harbor. And then the Oceanic Hotel in its first iteration was actually right along this road here. And that burnt down in 1873. And this one was built in 1875. And it still stands. And people stay in it now to this day. And so we have conferences that come out for weeks at a time, or weekends, or midweeks. And that's how we exist now in that that form.
So on islands, we don't have any naturally potable or freshwater sources on islands. We do have one well that was built sometime in the 1800s. That's what's under the well house in the front lawn. That's actually a well, but it's brackish, and it's also open to surface water, and there's holes in the sides so like animals can crawl in. So we don't use that for any sort of drinking water at all. And so since we don't have any sources of drinking water on island, we have to find them somewhere.
So we use seaweed for mulching, which we obviously have a lot of. It suppresses the weeds, but also works as a fertilizer. We've got zucchini. We do intercropping, so the radishes come up first, and then we'll put something else in there after we harvest those.
But we're also always fighting with muskrats, which Elspeth has some recent experience with. Muskrats.
Can you tell me a fighting with muskrats story?
Oh gosh, well I haven't actually experienced them, but they come during the night and they do damage. They've eaten a lot of corn, but
So how do you keep a muskrat out? I mean, are the fences enough?
The fences are not enough, so they climb over, they find their ways in. But I take wasabi, yeah.
Wasabi?
Wasabi powder and water, and you spray it, and they don't like it, obviously, as would no one else.
One year they loved the tomatoes, and so it was when the garden was a lot smaller, but there were random tomatoes kind of planted throughout the garden, and this girl came to me one morning and was like, "Kristen, somebody messed with the tomatoes, like, I don't know why, but they cut them all out," and we came in here and it looked like someone had come in with loppers and taken the entire plant away, but it was just muskrats really wanted the tomato plants that year. Last year they loved cucumbers, but not the cucumber plants. It was the cucumbers themselves that they would crawl through the cucumbers and then eat like half of them, or even sometimes just take a bite out of it, so it would ruin the whole cucumber.
Then they leave the rest there, just to kind of a slap in the face. Yeah. They're pests.
So it's sort of, I mean, it's just sort of like island problems,
Yeah,
similar to mainland problems,
deer,
but different.
Raccoons, because that's the thing. Everybody deals with pests in the garden. We just have to deal with them in a different way. So what we have below us here, this is our wastewater treatment facility. This is a sequencing batch reactor. It's an SBR. So this is a similar system to what you find on the mainland. Pease has an SBR, and it's a technology that people favor because it has a really small footprint. So out here on the island, we don't have a lot of, we have space, we don't have a lot of space. It's also really hard to dig when we don't have any dirt and we're very close to bedrock. So this plant was constructed in the mid-90s, and it operates for most of the season. We discharge about 10,000 gallons per day, so we're a very, very, very small fraction of what most wastewater treatment plants are on the mainland. And so actually, as part of our move to be more sustainable and energy efficient, we're reevaluating our wastewater treatment system on island. This is also in part to make a system that will work for us through all of our seasons, because right now we have a lot of variety in our wastewater flow and our wastewater needs throughout the year. So in part we need systems that will work together to serve our wastewater needs throughout the year.
We expect that it will save us money in the first year or so. It's going to cost us a little bit more. There's a lot of startup costs and a lot of initial payments. But over the life of this program, it will not only reduce our costs overall, but maybe more importantly, stabilize them, because it will be shielded from any increase in energy costs for about 25 years based on the expected life of the system.